And then we look at Esther here. What a godly woman. She knowingly risks her life. She goes against the Persian law. You know the story. No one came unless they were invited. And they had what the scripture says, but one law, and that's death, man or woman. Doesn't matter. If you weren't requested and you came and he didn't stretch out the golden scepter, you're a goner. And she willingly risks her life to come before this king without invitation. And I just love her words, don't you? I got to say it again, what she says to Mordecai. And so I will go to the king, which is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. There's so many truths in this chapter. There's so many principles and things that we can apply to our life. Think about this. We live in a fallen world. Don't you think? I mean, it's okay to save a whale and kill millions of babies. I mean, the list could go on. We could go into this whole thing. We live in such a perverted and good is being called evil and evil is being called good, and the family has been under attack now for years. We live in a messed up society. In fact, the scripture tells us in 1 John chapter 5, verse 19 says this, we know that we are of God and the whole world lies under the sway of the wicked one. The Greek language is this, they're like a baby in the lap of a parent being rocked to sleep. And is that not what happens if we listen to the ways of the world too much? If we forget who we are, if we forget the kingdom that we belong to, pretty soon, oh, it's not that bad. I know this is like really unpolitically correct what I'm going to say, but pretty soon after being swayed like that, it's okay to have gay pastors. This is what we live in. We're living in that day. In fact, we're told in Ephesians chapter 2, Paul says this, in which you once, now speaking of the life that we came out of, now he's talking to people that are born again, in which you once walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince, the power of the air, the spirit that now works in the sons of disobedience. The Germans have a name for this spirit. They call it the zeitgeist, the spirit of the age. There is, whether we are in tune with this or not, I know this might seem a little crazy, but if you close your eyes, it's like there's this spiritual world that we can't see, and it's like a radio station that's broadcasting lies. And there's a spirit that's working in the hearts of the people that are tuned into that station. And he says, we used to be that way. Well, that's what's going on all around us. And so many are bowing to the wickedness and to the evil. And they're listening to bogus worldly counsel. They're getting high on the dope of materialism. They've lost their way. They need Jesus. They need people that are going to stand, that they can see. Because you guys know the end of this book, don't you? It says that many of the people converted to Judaism for fear of the Jews. They saw God was with them. These people were willing to take a stand. They stood up. They went after the enemy. They weren't silent in case they're out, whatever will be, will be. And many people were affected by it. That's why I say, people around us are watching us whether we realize it or not, on our jobs. Don't be lulled to sleep, man, into thinking that, oh, not really, I've been there for years. Don't listen to that. People are looking. A lot of people really are searching.